A name that once haunted quarterbacks is back with a thirst for redemption, and the situation he's walking into looks a lot more promising than people realize. Meanwhile, one of the most iconic offensive players of the last decade might be approaching a turning point, and no one in Tampa even wants to think about that possibility. Jason Licht is moving pieces boldly, going all in on someone who wants to silence the critics, while trying to hold on to a player who's already won it all in this jersey. But can he really balance it all? Stick with me until the end because the updates are major and you won't want to miss them. Hit that like button and let's get into it. All right, let's talk about one of the boldest and most interesting moves of this offseason, Haason Reddick signing with the Buccaneers. After a bizarre 2024 season with the New York Jets where he pretty much vanished on the field, the two-time Pro Bowl pass rusher decided to turn the page and signed a one-year, $14 million deal with Tampa Bay. A classic prove-it deal, like saying, "Give me a shot, and I'll show you what I'm worth." Now, it's true last year was weird. The guy finished with just one sack. That's coming from someone who, not long ago, was one of the most feared pass rushers in the league. But Bucs GM Jason Licht couldn't care less about that number. He went on WDAE radio and made it clear. He still sees the monster inside Reddick. According to Licht, the guy is still a top-tier athlete and knows exactly how to get to the QB. He admitted Reddick's year with the Jets was out of the ordinary, but pointed out that from 2020 to 2023, Reddick totaled 50 sacks. That kind of production doesn't just disappear overnight. And more importantly, Licht believes Reddick is hungry, ready to prove that last year was just a temporary slip. And honestly, it's hard to argue. In 2020 with the Cardinals, 12.5 sacks. In 2021 with the Panthers, 11. Then came his peak with the Eagles in 2022. 16 sacks, All-Pro honors, and even Defensive Player of the Year talk. Even in 2023, which some called a down year, he still had 11 sacks. The guy was consistently dominant until the Jets, where everything went sideways. But now, in Tampa, he'll be playing alongside Vita Vea, Levante David, and Kalijah Kancey, a much better setup than what he had in New York. The GM said he's already clicking with the locker room, came in motivated, and wants to prove that 2024 was just a bad dream. Reddick is heading into his 9th year in the league, now with his 5th team, and he has one mission: prove he's still that guy. And if he becomes even half the player he once was, the Bucs defense could be a real problem in 2025. Now tell me, does this gamble have a real shot at paying off? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because the next story involves a veteran with a legacy, and he might be about to write his final chapter in Tampa. But now, in Tampa, he'll be playing alongside Vita Vea, Levante David, and Kalijah Kancey, a much better setup than what he had in New York. The GM said he's already clicking with the locker room, came in motivated, and wants to prove that 2024 was just a bad dream. Reddick is heading into his 9th year in the league, now with his 5th team, and he has one mission: prove he's still that guy. And if he becomes even half the player he once was, the Bucs defense could be a real problem in 2025. Now tell me, does this gamble have a real shot at paying off? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because the next story involves a veteran with a legacy, and he might be about to write his final chapter in Tampa. Bucs fans barely had time to breathe after the Chris Godwin saga, which luckily ended with a brand new 3-year contract. And now another bombshell might be on the way. This time, the name sending chills down fans' spines is none other than Mike Evans. According to ESPN, Evans could very well be headed for free agency in 2026. The veteran wide receiver, who turns 32 in August, is entering the final year of the deal he signed in 2024, and the question looms: is this going to be his last dance in Tampa? Let's be real. Mike Evans is the definition of consistency. Since entering the league in 2014, the man has never had a season with fewer than 1,000 receiving yards. 10 years, 10 1,000-yard seasons. Just like that. Oh, and in 4 of the last 5 seasons, he also hit double-digit touchdowns. Put some respect on that. So of course, if he hits free agency healthy and with another productive season under his belt, teams will be lining up. ESPN even said he'll absolutely have suitors. And they're right. But isn't it a little early to be heating up that conversation? The truth is, both Godwin and Evans are cornerstone players in Tampa Bay. Godwin just proved his loyalty by sticking around for 3 more years. And even if Evans doesn't land a contract as big as Godwin's, who secured $66 million in his new deal, something solid could still be on the table, maybe even a bit smaller than the 2-year, $41 million deal he signed previously, but still worth it. And let's be honest, Bucs GM Jason Licht is no fool. He just navigated the Godwin situation and is almost certainly already planning ahead for Evans. Could 2025 be Mike Evans' farewell season in Tampa? Maybe, but maybe not. The NFL is full of surprises. That old saying holds true, never say never. For now, Ruger 13 is still a Buck. And as long as he is, he's going to keep being a nightmare for defenders and a source of pride for the fans. To me, this move feels like a full-on gamble. Betting on a player coming off a bad year can pay off, or it can become another expensive mistake. But imagining the Bucs offense without number 13, that's a whole different story. Tampa needs to figure out how to rebuild without tearing down what still works. Because losing core pieces without quality replacements? That's a fast track to mediocrity. If you want to follow every step of this rebuild, make sure you subscribe to the channel and stay on top of everything happening with the Bucs.